Ew, ew. Big fish-ish. Y'all know what it is, man. Just spoke with God, and honestly, we still having a convo, and I wanted to bring y'all in on it. And I haven't gotten all my thoughts together, so this is just going to be me sharing my thoughts with y'all as they come into my mind. Don't always recommend that, but you know, it is what it is. I trust y'all. I really think that it's over for men in a lot of ways. And when I say that it's over for men, I don't know what it was like, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago. But we are in very unique times where I feel that this is a time where, and maybe the chaos around us is representative, it's representative of what I'm describing. But it seems that we are in a time where we need men to be more masculine, where men need men to be more masculine, where it's required in this society that we're living in to be more masculine, to have the principles of masculinity that, in my opinion, society has stripped from us. Society has convinced us and tricked a lot of us and manipulated a lot of us to, and bullied a lot of us to lean away from our masculinity because society rewards the lack thereof masculinity and us leaning more into our feminine ways. Maybe this is why there is no structure throughout the world, especially throughout America, where, I say it all the time, where things that you can describe happening in America just 10 years ago, if we were describing some of the things that are just commonplace and the norm right now, just 10 years ago, people would probably bet everything that they have, their house, savings, everything, that those things would never be mainstream. And I don't even want to get into the actual things that I'm discussing. Clearly, we're living in a chaotic world. And it's to the point where I could probably say that. The reason why maybe I should be specific is because I could say we're living in a chaotic world. And it's like everybody thinks it's chaotic, but for different reasons. You're going to hear the reasons, or you'll understand the energy as far as what I'm conveying. But it's bad for men. I talk to a lot of men of all ages, all different backgrounds. Men are not happy. Men are not, and when I say happy, I don't use it in a trivial sense to say like, oh, well, men were never, happiness is not the main thing. Trust me, y'all know how my energy, especially what I've been on before the last 3-4 months, happiness was not even something that I considered in the equation. Like, I was just on purpose. That's it. Like, I focus on my purpose and achieving what I need to achieve and become what I need to become in order to lead who I'm leading. But I've learned more and more why happiness is important. And maybe on the flip side, as I'm thinking about it and processing it, what I really meant to say was that men are sad right now. Sad both from a standpoint of like, man, we are doing sorry, we are pitiful. I mean all that. But men are truly sad. And I'm telling you, I speak to all different types of men, different backgrounds, different financial standings, different ages, across the board. And I'm not saying I speak to thousands. I'm talking about the 10 to 20 that I come into contact with, either on a regular or irregular basis, whatever. I think the sadness is bad, but what's even worse is there's a sense of men being lost. And I think the sadness comes from a lot of men feeling that we are lost, feeling that we're purposeless, feeling that we don't have the brotherhoods that maybe we had in the past. And I think a lot of it is the result of a lot of the men before us compromising, being open-minded, all of these things that we throw around as if they're such great things. Compromise, be open-minded, be vulnerable. All of those things sound great. They sound even greater to a society that has a lot of structure, that has a lot of purpose, that has a lot of intent. But what it creates is a society that has none of those things. And when you already have a society that has none of those things, and now you're still doubling down on the teaching that we've received from the men that came before us, and you couple that with what society's pushing, and now we have a society that has no structure, a society that is chaotic, a society that is overly emotional, and then we don't even have men that are equipped with the skills, the tools, the mindset, the demeanor, the tenacity, the passion to actually address those areas and to improve those areas. And then there develops a sense of resentment because the women, the children, the people that are looking to us to lead, and now we're not equipped to lead in a society that needs more work than the societies that our parents and grandparents came from, because society was more structured then. So think about it. Society was more structured. Society was more conservative. So therefore they were trying to tell you had a society that was structured and conservative. Then you had men that were masculine, structured, more conservative, more traditional. And we wanted them to be a little more softer, a little more vulnerable, loosen up a little bit. But now we have men that have loosened up, or we have the result of men that have loosened up and the teaching that they taught to our generation of men, and it's even worse for the younger generations, in a society that is already completely loose or free. Freedom is what we call it, right? And I can't even say I didn't want to start off or want to talk about something, because I really had no idea where this conversation would go. But it's very frustrating. It's become very frustrating where if you don't buy into society's depiction of what a man should be and society's characterization of what a man should be, you're going to always be on the outskirts, or always appear to be controversial, or appear to be too aggressive, or too this, too masculine, all these different things. And it's really because you just make people uncomfortable. And now men are forced with a choice, or forced with, I guess, a bunch of different choices, with whether or not you should stand on principles, morals, and values, even though society encourages it and makes it so much, it makes it appear to be a lot easier to live a life where you don't stand on principles, morals, and values. But deep down, you know that that's what you should be standing on. Deep down, you know that you should be focused more on your purpose over anything else. But instead, we allow ourselves to be compromised. And I think that a lot of people do it, a lot of men do it, because we'll go crazy if we don't. I was just looking up the suicide rates, and I was trying to see if there was a correlation between the suicide rates and men being purposeless right now, men being misguided or having no guidance, men being completely lost. I mean, when you speak to some of the older men in our generation, and think about this. This maybe I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head. If you're 30, 40, 50, 20, do you get advice from the older men in your family that you're close to? Friends, older gentlemen, mentors? What advice do we really get? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't hear a lot of advice. And maybe that's just based on my algorithm on YouTube, Instagram. But I'm thinking about even in real life. And maybe it's funny, I'm laughing to myself because I was having a conversation over the weekend about whether or not I'm open-minded or whether or not I need to be more open-minded. And when I asked who I was talking to and who they were referring to that mentioned that I should be more open-minded, I said, what areas do you think I should be more open-minded in? They couldn't tell me. I have a show for an hour at least, 3 times a week for the last year. And I believe that I do come across, maybe perhaps, I guess, the people where I need to be more open-minded. But what's so funny is whenever people say something like that, and my response is always, okay, what areas should I be more open-minded about? What topics should I be more open-minded about? They never have anything specific to say. It's always well, just how your thoughts are and what? And what it really comes down to is a few things, I believe, where if you just don't agree with somebody, they want you to be more open-minded. If you challenge somebody's thinking, if you challenge somebody and make them uncomfortable to thinking a little bit differently than what they've been thinking for so long, if they hear it from somebody that they're not expecting to hear it from, if they hear it in a way that they're not expecting it to be conveyed, especially when you convey it with a certain level of fearlessness that people may not be used to, they tend to feel that you need to be more open-minded. But about what? Where do you think me being open-minded, maybe I should ask them the question this way. Okay, you think I need to be more open-minded, in what areas? And if I am open-minded, how do you think that would allow me to change and maybe grow how you think I should grow? But they never can answer the question as far as what area I need to be more open-minded in. And it becomes very frustrating at times. It becomes very frustrating at times. And when I talk to men that I know are great men, caring men, considerate men, benevolent men, and when they tell me that they're sad or struggling in their relationships or just struggling in life, I really just sit back and I think, and I'm like, damn, like, it's really tough for men out here. And now I'm not making any excuse for men, or maybe I am, I don't know. You guys let me know. And I'm not looking for any sympathy, compassion, maybe some empathy. I would appreciate empathy, but I can't even say that I'm looking for it. Maybe I am. Maybe that's just the pride and ego saying I ain't looking for it. I guess I am. And the reason why I say I'm not looking for sympathy, I don't need you to feel bad for me. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I want you to understand. All I want is us to understand so we can get better and move to a better place and understand why it's necessary for men to move in a certain way. Understand that if men do not move in that certain way, how that will impact society, how microcosms turn into macro issues. The men before us wanted to be liked so much, and maybe because they were looking, I know like when I think back to like even in my family, I know the generations before the men, they weren't as they didn't give out maybe as many hugs or have as many conversations as we have with our parents. But I think it got out of hand. It got out of hand, and I think it was based on wanting to be loved, wanting to be liked, rather than just wanting to lead. Leadership is not a fun position to be in. And I don't think that most women understand that. I want to, and that I do mean to specify and say I don't think most women understand that. I think that because leadership, when it comes to women, has been highlighted in a way where it's the CEO, it's the boss chick, and I've spoken to women who say this stuff where you see a lot of women now saying like, "Oh, I was misled. I want this soft life, this leadership stuff and accountability and responsibility. It ain't fun." But it's almost as if society wants it to look so fun when it comes to women, almost to disregard or to not, to kind of create a, how can I put it? To cloud women as far as their mindset and their judgment of what a leader should be. And maybe this is why, and I'm bringing a lot of thoughts together. Lack of masculinity and insecurities being demonstrated by a fast car, I guess, or a loud car. You can't even say fast car. Put the muffle back on that thing or do whatever. But I thought about this when there was a parade down in South Beach, and it was a pride parade. It's funny, it was like 2 months ago. It wasn't even during June, but it was a gay pride parade or something, an event. And it was all on Ocean. And I'm looking at it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, they make pride look so fun. Like it's about drinking, it's about having a good time, it's about dancing, singing, partying. It looks so fun, right? And it just made me think that structure, discipline. When you think about, I was comparing it to religion at the time, and I was saying like, imagine trying to convince somebody to be religious, to follow this way of life, when they see the pride parade and how much fun they're having over there. Think about the things that have fun. Like and this is why I've always said that we're in a cool battle. People follow what they think is cool. Now, some cultures have, the successful cultures that I see, they've been able to make the things that are conducive to becoming successful appeal as very cool to the people that they are looking to teach it to, their children, whoever. The cultures that suffer, let's say like a black culture, Look at all the things that we lean into as being cool. Look at American culture. I shouldn't even say just black culture. Look at American culture. All the things that we are led by just because it's fun, it's cool, it's a good time, it's instant gratification, it makes me happy in the moment. And all of those things, or majority of those things, I say all of them, if you do those things over a long period of time on a consistent basis, they are not going to lead us to a successful position. And when we do not reach a successful position as a team, who ends up getting the blame? The leaders. So this is why I say I understand the resentment that a lot of women can have towards men and a lot of children can have towards men for the lack of leadership. Because should I just sit here and say and complain and not do anything about it and just say, oh, you know, this is so unfair. It's so hard for men. Life is so hard. No. No. I'm not going to do that because that's the same thing that our parents and our grandparents did, in my opinion, and it led us to this. It is what it is. Let me be very clear. This is not a call for help. This is not a cry for help. I hope people don't take it like that. This is just like any of the other conversations that I share with y'all as I'm talking with God. These are just the thoughts that and problems that go through my mind that I'm always looking to try to figure out a way to be part of the solution and not just continue to be a part of the problem. And why I said not just continue to be part of the problem, because it's an active thing. A lot of times we will think that, oh, if I'm not, in my mind, contributing to a problem, then I'm actually helping the solution. No. We are so far gone right now that if you're doing absolutely nothing, you are part of the problem. This is just my opinion, though. And once again, I want to make it very clear, this is not a call for help. Maybe it is matter of fact, it is a call for help. It's not a call for help, maybe how some people may think. But it's a call to do what's necessary. We are in a very lost place in which a lot of our men that lead from a righteous standpoint, the right way, are taken for granted, are not appreciated. We'll sit here and call them, oh, why do you get, like, you're so short at times, like, seems like you're upset, it seems like you're short with me. Bro, we're at war. We're at war with society. Ladies, y'all are not at war with society. It just is what it is. You are you suffer from what goes on in this war, which we see every day, which we see with a lot of single mother households. That's a result of the problem. That is a result of the attack on black men. And let me be very clear. This attack right now, it's not on black men. Just solely on black men. It is on men, period, at this point. I think they already did their job when it comes to black men. To the point where now they've done such a good job where it may be backfiring on them. This is an attack on men. This is a problem with men overall in our country. And I know we like to celebrate the men that just empower women and just, you know, just go with the flow of everything and all. And do y'all realize that the reason why y'all can have all those things, I'm going to make a generalization and say that the majority of people can benefit from those things is because of a man's masculine energy and masculine efforts. That's why hard work creates privilege, right? Discipline creates privilege. Passion creates privilege. Stubbornness, in a lot of ways, creates privilege. So it's easy to be in a privileged position to judge somebody else who is not in that privileged position and to not appreciate somebody who's not in that privileged position. Now, the last 30 seconds to 40 seconds of what I just said may have lost y'all a little bit. It kind of lost me a little bit as far as like making sure that I was landing the point. But let me try to figure out if there's another way that I could say it. Ladies, just because somebody says something to you in a nice way and gives you hugs and makes you feel, I don't know, warm inside, does not mean that it's good for you. And if you're planning on having a family, you know, kids or a child, then maybe that, I guess to each their own, but in my mind, that definitely should not be the priority. We celebrate men for the wrong reasons and disregard men who are living righteous, who are committed, who sacrifice for their significant others, for their families, who put it on the line for them, who put it on the line for people that are not even in their families, just for the overall society and humanity. We don't appreciate those men. We don't appreciate those men. We appreciate the men that are that tell you that you're perfect, that tell you that you can do no wrong, that you're a queen, you're a princess, and you're a goddess, and you don't need to do anything. Like everything that you do is just so amazing. Do you realize that all that candy that that person is giving you is going to destroy you in the long run? Because all it does is alter your mindset and condition you to think that this is how men should behave. This is how men should communicate. This is why I should appreciate a man, just for making me feel good. For telling me that I'm perfect. For telling me that I should be able to do whatever that I want, whatever I want to do. I should be able to wear whatever I want to wear. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like we're in a weird place. And like I said, I'm not just gonna sit here and complain about it. I just talked to one of my big bros who it actually hurt my heart to hear that he was sad because he was just going through so many relationship issues. And I'm like, damn, this is such a good, like, this is a good guy. It's a good guy. Now, unless maybe when we talk in person, he's going to tell me some things that make me change the way that I look at him, but I can't see that. Like, maybe. But it just hurt me. And what I was using that to say, I was telling him that we're gonna do a retreat at the end of this month. So just so y'all know, just so y'all ain't sitting there like, you just complaining about something, you're not doing anything about it. Tune into the show Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tune into the show and you tell me if maybe I'm just talking about it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm open to going about it a different way if somebody knows a more effective way. I'm always down for that. I'm very much open-minded about somebody presenting an alternative solution, some practical steps that we can take in order to figure this thing out. I am not just approaching it from a standpoint where it's like it's my way or no way. Nah. But it's sad, man. Men, you got, and fellas, yo, get in the best physical shape that you can be in. Read, get your mental right. Have intelligent debates so you can sharpen your tools, sharpen your skills, especially your communication skills. Be open to being wrong. And everything that I'm saying to this camera, y'all should know me by now. Yo. I don't even understand why people, like why somebody would say I'm not open-minded. I'm passionate. But like, yo, literally, somebody tells me that I can improve in an area, I'm going to try. I'm going to listen to it at least. Like I'm going to process it, really, really take it in. I really hope that we can figure this thing out and we can make a big commitment to it, because this ain't it. This ain't it. But is there a way that I could finish this off on a high note? Or maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Let's figure out some solutions. Let's shoot me a DM, shoot me a text if you got my number. Comment. Let's figure this out, because and it's funny. I was gonna say because we have to. We don't have to do anything, I guess, right? We can just let things go along with the cycle as they go along. And somebody even asked me, like, yo, why are you doing this? Like, why do you feel the need to speak on these things? And I'm just like, yo, I'm not a punk. Like, to me, it's very punkish to see a problem. And maybe it's two things. I shouldn't just say I'm not a punk. I'm not a punk, and I think very highly of myself. I hold myself in high regards. So if you hold yourself in high regards and you see a problem and you're not a punk, wouldn't you try to figure out a way to address those problems? Especially when you know that you're connected with everybody, and that what hurts and affects society is going to hurt and affect you, and not only you, but the generations that come from you and after you, the people that look up to you maybe, the people that you lead, the people that you inspire. Why would you not try to help? I don't know, but like I said, if somebody else knows a better way, a more effective way, let me know. Let me know. But let's wrap this up. It's already late. What time is it? It's 12:16 a.m. I may sound discouraged, and I may be discouraged in this moment, but 10 seconds from now, I definitely won't be. I definitely won't be. I'm gonna hit these affirmations before bed, make sure that I get my mental right, make sure that I'm going to sleep, removing all negative energy and just focusing on the positive, so that way as I'm sleeping, I can program my subconscious to focus on the positive rather than dwell on the negative, and wake up tomorrow with a inspired mental and an excited mental, just ready to contribute in the best way I know to contribute to society. So with that, I'll let y'all go. I'll see y'all soon. Ew.